Through the greasy lens of the periscope, the captain of the German U-boat 103 smiled. In the crosshairs of his scope, a massive, lumbering beast had appeared. It was a 46,000-ton luxury liner. To the untrained eye, it looked exactly like the Titanic, because it was her sister, the RMS Olympic. For the German hunter, this was not a ship, it was a free meal. It was a floating palace filled with enemy troops. The German captain turned to his crew, his voice dripping with arrogance. He shouted, "Look what the British have sent us, a fat goose waiting to be cooked. Prepare the rear torpedo tubes. Let us send these wealthy British targets to the bottom of the Atlantic." In his mind, the logic of naval warfare was absolute. A passenger liner meeting a submarine is like a sheep meeting a wolf. The sheep runs, the sheep screams, and then the sheep dies. But on this day, May 12th, 1918, the German captain made a fatal miscalculation. He forgot that a sheep made of 46,000 tons of steel is not a sheep. It is a hammer. And he was about to become the nail on the bridge of the Olympic. Captain Hayes was standing watch. The Olympic was painted in dazzle camouflage, a chaotic pattern of geometric shapes designed to confuse the enemy. But camouflage cannot hide a mountain of steel. Suddenly, the lookout screamed, "Submarine! Dead ahead! Off the starboard bow!" According to the Royal Navy rulebook, there was only one correct action. Evasive maneuvers. Turn away. Zigzag. Run for your life. But Captain Hayes looked at the water. He saw the U-boat surfacing. He saw the Germans scrambling on the deck. They looked relaxed. They looked confident. They were mocking him. Something inside the British captain snapped. He grabbed the wheel. He did not order a retreat. He did not order a turn away. He shouted the order that would become legend. Hard a starboard. Ram them. Cut them in half. Down in the engine room. The engineers felt the ship lurch. They saw the telegraph ring 2 full speed ahead. They opened the valves. The massive triple expansion engines roared to life, unleashing 40,000 horsepower. The Olympic stopped being a cruise ship and became a missile. On the submarine, the German captain froze. The giant ship in his periscope was not getting smaller. It was getting bigger. Fast. It was filling the entire lens. He realized with horror, she is not running away. She is coming for us. Panic exploded inside the U-boat. Dive, dive, dive. The crew frantically spun the valves. They tried to flood the ballast tanks, but the laws of physics were against them. A World War I submarine takes minutes to dive. The Olympic was closing the distance in seconds. The shadow of the ship covered the submarine like an eclipse. The sound of the Olympic's engines could be heard through the hull, like the drumbeat of death. The German captain looked up one last time. He saw the massive steel blade of the Olympic's bow rising 50 feet above his head. It was coming down like the axe of an executioner. The impact was not a battle. It was a massacre. The bow of the Olympic slammed into the submarine just behind the conning tower. Metal screamed as it was torn apart. The pressure hull of the U-boat crumbled like a tin can. But Captain Hayes was not done. As the submarine rolled under the ship, the Olympic's massive propellers, turning at full speed, acted like a giant meat grinder. They sliced through the remains of the U-boat, chopping the pride of the German Navy into scrap metal. Oil and debris floated to the surface. The hunter had become the prey. The arrogance of the wolf was shattered by the rage of the sheep. If you enjoy stories where history delivers brutal justice, make sure to subscribe to the Legacy Vault, because we dig up the moments where the underdog bites back. As the wreckage of U-boat 103 spiraled into the abyss, the RMS Olympic did not stop. The ship shuddered, but she kept moving. Captain Hayes checked the damage report. It was almost laughable. The submarine was obliterated, but the Olympic, she had a slightly bent bow, a few loose rivets, and a small leak that was easily patched. She shook off a naval collision like a boxer shaking off a fly. This moment defines the character of this ship. It also highlights the tragic irony of the White Star Line. Think about it. The Olympic and the Titanic were identical sisters, built from the same blueprints, by the same hands, using the same steel. Yet their destinies could not be more different. The Titanic grazed an iceberg, a passive object, and she sank on her first voyage, taking 1,500 souls with her. She became a symbol of tragedy, fragility, and hubris. But the Olympi, she was a warrior in a Volga. During the First World War, she did not hide in port. She painted herself in dazzle camouflage and went to war. She transported over 200,000 troops. She crossed the Atlantic filled with soldiers, dodging torpedoes, outrunning destroyers, and surviving storms that would snap lesser ships in half. The soldiers loved her. Take ahead. Air the old reliable. When they saw her from massive funnels rising from the fog, they knew they were going to make it home. She was attacked by torpedoes 4 times. She dodged them all. In one incident, a torpedo passed so close to the ship that the crew could hear the propeller of the torpedo buzzing as it missed the hull. She was most people only know the story of the sister who died. But at the Legacy Vault, we believe the story of the sister who lived is even more powerful. After the war, while the Titanic lay rotting in the darkness of the ocean floor, the Olympic returned to civilian service. She was refitted. Her luxury was restored. She became the Queen of the Atlantic once again. For another 15 years, she carried the rich and famous. Charlie Chaplin sailed on her. The Prince of Wales walked her decks. She was a floating time capsule, a survivor of a golden age that had long passed. She had survived a collision with a warship. She had survived a collision with a submarine. She had survived the Great War. But there was one enemy she could not defeat: time. By 1935, the world had moved on. Newer, faster ships were being built. The Great Depression had emptied the coffers of the shipping lines. The old Reliable was deemed too expensive to run. The order was given: scrap her. It was a heartbreaking day when she sailed to the breaker's yard in Scotland. Thousands of people lined the docks. Old soldiers who had sailed on her during the war came to salute. Women wept. They were not mourning a disaster. They were saying goodbye to a friend, a protector. As the workers began to tear her apart, they found the scars on her hull, the dents from the submarine, the patches from the storms. Every rivet told a story of survival. Her grand staircase, identical to the one on the Titanic, was ripped out and sold to a hotel. Her wood paneling was sold to a factory. The great beast was consumed, not by the ocean, but by the industry that created her. Today, when you think of the Titanic, don't just think of the ice and the freezing water. Remember that she had a sister who fought back, a sister who proved that steel can have a soul. If you believe the Olympic deserves a movie of her own, hit that like button and tell us in the comments which story inspires you more: the tragedy of the Titanic or the vengeance of the Olympic. This is the Legacy Vault, preserving the past, one legend at a time.